Hey everybody, this is John Oxley again from Huntington Physical Therapy. This is our Friday tip of the day. I got a question this past week on our video to discuss jumper's knee. So I got Mark Taylor, who's a physical therapist also here at HPT, who does a lot of our knee rehab and has for 30 plus years. So I thought he would be a good person to discuss it. So let's jump right in. So, Mark, what is jumper's knee?
Jumper's knee is a term that we use the term patellar tendonitis that applies to inflammation or irritation or soreness of this section of tendon from your kneecap, the distal end of your kneecap, the bottom of your kneecap, to where it joins on your shin bone or tibia. And that involves this soreness associated with that particular area of the tendon.
What usually causes it? How does it usually start for people?
Jumper's knee, in most cases, is what we refer to as an overuse type of syndrome. It usually occurs from an activity, a repetitive activity, primarily jumping, therefore the name. There can be some mechanical reasons behind that to deal with your strength or flexibility, your general conditioning, mechanical factors as well as chemical factors that may aggravate that section of the tendon of your knee.
Do you feel like most people that come in have one particular tightness or weakness that tends to lend itself towards this?
Well, as we mentioned, there are mechanical factors that may influence it. Flexibility and all the associated muscle groups are a causative factor. Sometimes your hamstrings are too tight or your quads too tight, or your strength is not where it ought to be. You know, we oftentimes participate in activities because we like the activity or for conditioning's sake, when sometimes we need to think about preparing to do the activity, not just do the activity. And that comes to all of us at some time or another. And with jumper's knee or patellar tendonitis, sometimes it's important that you prepare to do that activity by being flexible and strong and correcting those factors that allow you to do the activity comfortably.
So if people are thinking, okay, I think I've got jumper's knee, what are some few specific things, kind of the highlights that you say you typically give people that come in with it? Is there a couple things that they can do maybe?
Well, just about everybody will present with that typical soreness at the end of their kneecap and along that section of tendon. Usually in the beginning, by the time we see them, they may have tried a couple of things. They may have tried a little bit of rest or maybe some anti-inflammatory or icing. And some of those conservative measures will work very well in resolving the problem. But usually it's a little deeper than that. Those things kind of treat the symptoms, but maybe don't fix the cause. And sometimes fixing the mechanics, i.e. becoming more flexible in your hamstrings or your quads or getting stronger, may be the key to doing that. And if those conservative measures have really not helped you, then you probably need to seek advice of somebody who can look at those things and evaluate that and maybe give you some suggestions to making this a little bit better and getting over this and letting you get back to activity.
So the question we always get is, how long is this going to take, and when do I know that I can get back to doing the activity that I want? So to those people, you say what?
I try to not give people necessarily a time frame. I like to give them the conditions under which it's probably safe to go back to activity. Obviously, you'd like to be pain-free or nearly pain-free. You want to be able to ease back into your activities and prove you're able to do that again without producing your symptom, versus just saying, well, you ought to be okay in 3 or 4 weeks. I don't think that's always accurate. So I would rather the person treat the condition with exercise or what we might advise. Take your anti-inflammatories, ice and rest, and once you've done those things, then think about easing back into your activities at the appropriate pace and prove that you can go back and do that without pain.
Because this is not something that usually gets better even if you're doing the therapy while you're still involved in the basketball and the running and all that stuff usually.
If you continue to produce a source of irritation, can't expect you to get better very quickly. And as much as you might not want to stop, sometimes rest is an indication. And again, if those conservative things don't do it, then let's get a little advice from somebody who can maybe push you along. And again, the good rule of thumb is easing back into your activities at a slower pace or a slower rate. If it's running or cycling, you back off a little bit and ease back in at a slower rate to prove you can do those things pain-free. So you don't.
Now they make a little strap that goes across people's patella. You for those? You like those? You think they help? What?
Well, personally, I think the straps may help, but I would rather someone try to fix the problem. The strap may give you some relief and allow you to do the activity without fixing the problem. So to me, if you've done all the other things and you need a little additional help, then that's where I kind of advise people to use the strap, not just use that right off the bat. Maybe that lets you do that without fixing the causative factors.
Perfect. Well, thanks. Hopefully that was informative for you guys this week. And please keep the questions coming. They're all good, and we enjoy answering them. Hope to see you next week. Thanks.